What's up? What's up? Late night in the Earl world. I figure no one really streams. Stugats! No one really streams at this hour, so I'm either really smart for streaming at this hour or finding out the reason why no one streams at this hour. Yo, 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 yo. What's up? What's up? Now let's see who else is live right now. I like to give you guys streaming options in case you don't like what I do. So we've got Nobody Likes Onions. They're on loop, but I guess technically they're live. And we've got the great Pat Dixon. He is live right now as well. So Lois is doing all right. She been coughing up a lot. So, but health wise, she's pretty good. Thank God. Thankfully. Because you can hear her now coughing, as a matter of fact. So we're going to go to the red filter. Bam. And we'll have just a nice, friendly stream. See, you ask about Lois, and she responds. She knows what time it is. And we've got some old schoolers. Yo, 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 yo. What up, JJ? Earl Skakel in the house. I'll be at the Comedy Store Saturday night. Tomorrow night, I'll be at Harvell's in Long Beach doing a comedy/burlesque show. And no, I will not be stripping. But the girls who do the burlesque have told me I'm literally the only comic that they're not creeped out. We don't do all caps in here. And, so you're going to have to tone it down, Jenny. Please. Know the rules. And you don't, on your very first time in the stream, plug your shit. So thank you for respecting the rules. I work out a lot. My next, everyone says how big it is. It's normal size. Thank you, thank you. I do have a soothing, deep, booming, baritone voice. That's how I make the majority of my income. We don't talk about Michael Skakel in here. It's a different Skakel family. So, thank you. Well, I certainly don't do that. Tesso. I see we got some early trolls. And you guys are welcome. And thank you, Jenna. Yes, my Aunt Ethel was my dad's sister. I'm all right. Jesus, swastika is your profile photo. You're going hard in the paint. Well, at least you're honest, Tesso. I can show that. At least you're honest. It's not that I welcome trolls in here, but I let them say their thing. I let them speak their minds, I guess you would say. Well, I'm sure you understand that that would be a controversial profile picture. Uh, I'll be honest with you, being Jewish, I don't really dig seeing it, but what am I going to do? It's the internet. Not much I can do about it. But we are friendly stream. It's just me and my dog Lois. She is about to go to bed for the evening. So it's pretty much just me. Get my bottle of water here. See, that's pretty funny, Tesso. Don't worry about who I'm related to, Kurt Miller. I don't ask you who you're related to. So, Earl Skakel in the house. About to try this for the very first time. Path water. Tastes like water. So there you go. Yes, I am related to Michael Skakel. He is my first cousin. Since you told me you're related to Barney Miller, I have to be honest with you. I think after this, I'm going to start the show Mayor of Kingstown. So welcome aboard, guys. Welcome aboard. Well, he had a career. I don't really have a career, Tesso. So, yeah, he got really into working out all of a sudden, and then you're right, it did kind of ruin his career. And he was pretty funny on SNL. I don't know what happened. He did a couple movies. They didn't do great, but they didn't bomb. They didn't do great, though. He was just kind of stuck in the middle. And then he got into that workout kick. But, it was like the mid-'80s. I mean, exercise magazines were all the rage back then. Muscle and Fitness, Iron Man. So I'm not sure what happened to Joe Piscopo, but I'm sure he gets some nice residuals still. I will promise you that. I don't want to look like Carrot Top. I just want a good body for the ladies. I believe that I have accomplished that. So we'll just take it. I'm natural. I'm straight edge, so I don't take any pharmaceutical enhancements. I take creatine. That's about as wacky as I get. So hit the like and subscribe button, please. I would appreciate that very much. And who knows how long we'll stream. I might stream another 5 minutes. I might stream another hour. Tell you what I won't do. I don't do the, 3 to 8 hour streams. It's just, what a rock. I've got a lot of family over in Dublin. Never been there myself, but one day maybe I'll hit the Irish comedy circuit. I don't know where that is from, Colonizer 420. Because I don't think, Mason, we have smog and water, if you know what I'm saying. I'm going to be honest with you, that's way too deep for this chat room. You might want to go to Pat Dixon's stream for that. So we're just a humble stream here. We talk a little comedy, wrestling, hockey, and other personal affairs of my experience of being 25 years into the stand-up comedy game and acting world. So what up? Amazing. You must be a Jesse Lee Peterson fan. What up, Trollmonger? Always a pleasure to see you in the stream. You are always a welcomed addition into the Earl world. You've been with me for quite a bit now. Thank you. Yes, it's 12:50 a.m. in Los Angeles, California. Thank you for the support over the years. Some of you have been with me a while. Some of you are new. Some of you are just trolls coming on in. Nothing to see here. We try and be a friendly stream. And 8:50. Okay, well, that's quite early in the morning. I hope that my soothing voice provides you comfort for the rest of the day. I'm a little sad because the LA Kings lost to the defending two-time Stanley Cup champions Florida Panthers tonight in Los Angeles. Not a great game. If you are a King fan, the Kings' backup goalie, Anton Forsberg, looked a little shaky, to be honest with you. Well, Powder Girl, I don't know if you're trolling me or not, but I play the Comedy Store a few times a week. I did not watch that tonight, but I'm sure Melton will. Replay it tomorrow or whatever. Well, en route, I just spoke with Red Bar, so try again. You're 0 for 1. I literally just spoke with him. So you gotta, go to Pat Dixon's stream with that line. Might help you. And I'm good with Jules. So you are 0 for 2. That's really 0 for 2 in the same sentence. That's rare. You don't have to apologize for the question. I'm a paid regular at the Comedy Store. And probably the best I've ever seen there, Dave Attell and Norm Macdonald. So, yeah. It's a Powder Girl. All good. All good. Will you watch the F1? I'm not really into that. Yes, he does, AB, but I don't really like to talk about that stuff in terms of that particular thing because I don't know the facts. So I don't do guests, so I will not be getting Mike Carano on the show. I mean, I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, he definitely looks skinnier than in previous years, but, I don't know. So I don't, of course, a lot of people speculate that he's sick or whatever, but, and he doesn't do as many shows as he used to do. I don't know. I mean, I don't talk to him a lot. From time to time, we just catch up for a minute or two. And that's about it. Now I'm straight edge Arkansas. Straight edge, baby. I say nope to dope. I don't do drugs. Yeah, I've watched cricket. We don't really get it in American TV. Yeah, but Lois is different. She lives with me, so you know. And now Lois likes her privacy, so it's pretty much just me on the show. And I'm better solo. I'm like Schwarzenegger's unit in Predator. I work alone. Troy Garland, are you famous? Who is this? Well, if I was famous, I'd have more than 9 people in here. So no, I'm not famous. I'm a stand-up comic in Los Angeles, California. And I also do a lot of voiceover work. So if you like Tyler the Creator, you've heard me. Yeah, you can Google me. Just my name. I started comedy late. I don't want to say unfortunately, but I started at 30. So maybe the first time I went on stage was probably like 29 or so, just to, get the feet wet. And, I didn't bomb, but I didn't do well, to be honest with you. See you, Rock. Powder Girl, where do you, are you in America? Where are you at? I always like to invite people from the stream to the comedy store anytime I'm there, or if I'm doing comedy um, in your state or whatever. There's a Wise Guys in Salt Lake, but I don't really play there. They like clean comedy, unless you're like super famous and they let you do what you want. But I'm not super famous, so I'm not like completely unknown, but I'm definitely not super famous. So I don't I don't like to be told what kind of comedy to do. So if I never play Wise Guys, I'll be okay. I tried to get in at the Vegas club, but off of a Pauly Shore recommendation, but they kind of blew me off. So it's like, all right, fuck off. Um, yes, I was in the Benchwarmers. I was the porta potty guy. I mean, I can do clean material, but I don't like being told to do clean material, if that makes any sense. Most comics are like little kids. You tell them not to do something, they want to do it. So if you tell me, Earl, you can't use this word, I want to use that word just because you told me not to do it. It's kind of silly, but that's how I think. And I don't like to speak for all comics, but I think I can in that regard. Oh, that's cool. I mean, I'm a fan of the Killers. Isn't Brandon Flowers a Mormon or something from Utah? Um, well, I mean, there's varying degrees of what known is. I mean, like in the voiceover world, I'm very known amongst casting people, but I don't think if I walk down the street, people would be like, "Hey, that's the voice of." Although a few times in Chick-fil-A, when I used to go to them, there was one that was kind of in a bad neighborhood. Almost every time I would be in the drive-through, they would recognize my voice as being the dad on the jellies. I'm a big Killers fan. Um, they have so many good songs. Um, yes, that's the great Murray Langston, who I still think is doing comedy, still with a bag over his head. I think he should go and kill Tony, but okay. Um, well, there's a lot of comics, Troy. There's a lot of comics, thousands of us. And, I don't know what you consider famous. So, I mean, if you look me up on IMDb, which is the Internet Movie Database, I've got more TV credits than most comics. But, does that mean I'm famous? Not necessarily. Um, so, I mean, I'm humbled and honored to be a paid regular at the Comedy Store. I don't really care about Googling anyone in the stream, bro. No offense. Um, yeah, I bet you are. Internet alleged freaks. I met Dave Koenig from the Killers. He is the guitar player in the Killers. I met him at a comedy show in San Diego, and he was very nice. And I highly recommend seeing the Killers. Great tunes. I did my best to notice, but the call came down the line. You know, Troy, no offense, but this is my stream. You don't really promote yourself in my stream. You promote yourself in your stream. Um, I mean, I don't really feel bad for Brian, to be honest with you. I mean, the guy fucking smokes, ungodly amount of cigarettes. He's incredibly unhealthy. So, a lot of his, and he's always begging for money. It's like, bro, you've been a working comic for 30 fucking years. What are you doing with your money? You know? So I don't mean to be a dick, but like a lot of his health problems are self-induced. Um, yeah, killers are awesome. Skull Earl. We don't do Stuttering John talking here, Big Black. You know better than that. I remember the Skull commercials with the great football player Earl Campbell. Skull, brother. Old school Earl Campbell. He was a big, big dude. Famous Earls, you got Earl Monroe, Earl Campbell, and Earl Skakel, and also Earl of Sandwich. I mean, it's you can ask a comedy question. I mean, Mitch Hedberg, one of the greats for sure, and I mean, comics definitely steal his persona. I don't know if they steal his jokes per se, but they definitely steal his persona for sure. Which is too bad because younger audience members don't know who Mitch Hedberg is. They were born after he died, so they don't know that you know his jokes or persona are being stolen. Um, there was a comic named Mitch Mulaney who there was a guy in the LA scene who stole his whole act. I mean, literally did the jokes, but the act outs and the style that Mitch Mulaney did, and a lot of audiences didn't know because they didn't know who Mitch Mulaney was. So one of the greats. Well, I mean, everything has been talked about. It's like there's nothing you can talk about that nobody's ever talked about. So, I mean, there's different levels of making it. Some comics think I've made it. I don't think I have, but a lot of younger comics or comics who've done nothing go, Earl, you've made it. You were on Roast Battle on Comedy Central. You were on Netflix, on Rob Schneider's show. You were on a Showtime series about the Comedy Store. You, the voice of Tyler the Creator's cartoon. Yada yada yada. And then to me, like Adam Sandler's made it, and then I'm sure to Adam Sandler, someone like Albert Brooks has made it. And I'm sure to Albert Brooks, someone like George Carlin's made it. And I'm sure to George Carlin, Lenny Bruce made it. It just literally comics are always trained to want more. So, Lois likes 80s butt rock. Well, I mean, not necessarily. I mean, there's plenty of people who haven't made it, but they make money at what they do. I know people who are private trainers at gyms and they hate it, but they make good money at it. So, but I see what you're saying. I mean, my lifestyle is pretty simple. I live within my means, and yeah, hit the like and subscribe button. I mean, we'll do about another half hour. Cock rock, butt rock. I mean, when Poison is singing "Unskinny Bop," you don't really have to think about what they're singing about. Unskinny bop bop just blows me away. Unskinny bop 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 all night and day. Don't worry about that, Troy. I can tell you, famous people on my phone. Um, uh, well, you got to get up more than that if you want to be a comedian. Just to give you an idea, the first 3 years, I went up 3 times a night, 7 nights a week. And even when I took a night off, I'd go to see like Kiss in Orange County, which is about an hour away from me. Um, and I would know their last song was going to be Rock and Roll All Night. So I'd stay at the exit in the aisle they'd play rock and roll all night, and I'd run to my car to go do an open mic an hour away. So even that night, I went up once. So probably, I mean, a comic that I never met that I wish I would have met, Robert Schimmel or Mitch Hedberg or Foster Brooks, old school. I mean, I kind of met Don Rickles once in passing, but I also used to play golf with his kid Larry, the great Larry Rickles, who sadly died before his dad did. So, yeah, that would be pretty cool to talk to them. I mean, Foster Brooks and Don Rickles are old school, 60s, 70s comics. You want to listen to a good comedy album? Don Rickles Live from the Sands, 68. Now, it might be boring to you, but back then what he was saying was pretty groundbreaking. Red Fox, I would love to meet. Yeah, Foster Brooks was awesome. Just I don't know if kids today would think he's funny. I don't think they would get what he's doing, but um, I think I want to say cancer, but I'm not quite sure. He did an amazing documentary on his dad. I used to play golf with him. He was younger than me, so yeah, he was that one. I mean, we had lost touch over the years, but you know, there was my core group of friends when I was like from say 13 to 17. He was in that core group, and we'd play golf at the country club. And, of course, none of us were doing great with girls. So golf at the country club was like our social hour. So, yeah, I think if you go on YouTube, I don't think it would be on like Spotify or anything. Just look up Don Rickles Live at the Sands. And it's only about 39 minutes. And you might be bored with it today. But like one of the jokes was now there's no video; it's just audio. He says, "Now keep in mind this is 1968, the summer of the Watts riots." And he's like, "To the Negro gentleman in the back of the room, have a good summer." I mean, that line right now probably, um, that would be the equivalent today of someone doing a George Floyd singer. Um, what actor would play you in your autobiography? I mean, living or dead? I mean, living? I mean, Mark Ruffalo. Dead, Gene Hackman. Um, so, round ice in the house. Phil Hartman, maybe. I mean, we'd have to have an extensive casting search for the lead of Earl Skakel. Diedrich Bader, maybe. Well, Big Black is in the Dabbleverse, so we can talk about. Um, we can't talk about the Dabbleverse since Big Black is in here. I mean, Big Black is a Howard Stern celebrity, so it really, I mean, we're humbled and honored to Steve Buscemi. Get the fuck out of here, home. Let's see what you look like, Nolan. Put your picture in your profile so I can crack on your looks. But we'd have Steve Buscemi come in for a read. Maybe he could, be me when I'm on heroin or something. Yeah, a lot of things going on behind the scenes with comics. But in terms of Karmic X, I mean, I don't see that ending happening gracefully with him and Felicia. But I hope it does. I like both personally. I don't really know both. I mean, I think, well, then he ain't getting in on the Earl Skakel project. Everyone's going to do reads for that role. And we'll even call in a black guy, maybe Roger from What's Happening, just for a different take. Doom, I would say Doom is my favorite Dabbleverse clipper. But, there's some great ones. Stalin 19, NLO Clips. I guess that's about it. I think there's one other My Lost Interest. Those are the top. But Doom seems more topical. And I like the fact that people don't know if Doom's a guy or a girl. So, I think that's pretty funny. And I like, he puts a little effort into his streams, different intro every time, including one by me where it's EA Sports. It's in the game. I mean, I've spoken with Doom once, um, or twice on, I think, Instagram maybe, or it might have been X, and they seem, I don't know, decent. I'm nothing groundbreaking. I think we talked maybe about Felicia and Karmic X, because I just don't see that ending well, and I feel for Karmic, because I can see, I will apologize to both if I'm wrong, but in my brain, I just see a breakup coming. She's around a lot of famous comics, and even the non-famous comics, she's around like the feature acts, and are going to seem worldly compared to Karmic, and it's just she got hooked up with one of them, and you know it's going to be a bad breakup, and he's going to do the one thing I tell people not to do in a breakup, and I've had more breakups in an NFL locker room, so I kind of know what I'm talking about in this regard. You never go on your ex's social media, because you're never going to find something that's going to make you happy. You can either see her looking better than when you dated her, you're going to see her with another dude, absolutely, and it's just not going to make you happy. So, um, and he's going to go on her Instagram and see if she's taking pictures with anyone in particular. He's going to go on her YouTube. She's got to do a stream with some dude, and even if she's not hooking up with the guy, he's going to think they are, and it's just going to be a wreck. Top 3 comics. I mean, today I would go Nikki Glazer, Sarah Tiana, and Steph Tolev. From the past, I mean, Elaine Boozler was pretty funny back in the day. Carol Leifer, who's like maybe not as well known, but very funny. And Joan Rivers. Um, no, I mean, I almost got married over the pandemic. Yeah, I mean, there's no right or wrong answer. I mean, Sarah Silverman's very funny. I mean, I think Amy Schumer, when she first hit, was funny. Yeah, Carol Burnett. I mean, I'm leaving. When you only give me 3 choices, it's like someone asked me the other day my Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling, and it's like it's tough. Because do you go who the most famous pro wrestlers are? Do you go who the bad guys, the good guys? You throw in women. You got to pick a woman maybe in that regard. So well, that's great. That's cool, Big Black. Enroute, you got to change the subject, baby. You haven't said one funny thing this whole stream, and you seem to be real locked in on Red Bar. So I don't know if you're gay for him or whatever, but say something different. Just the next one, just something different. Change your pace. What up, CC Motion? Do you miss Franklin Sheckler? See, I don't know who he is. Like, as much as I watch Earlverse stuff, like, I don't know who Franklin Sheckler is. I'm not bullshitting. I just don't know. Like I watch MLC. I used to watch Melton a lot. I used to watch Win by Two a lot. I would put those on because Win by Two and Melton, Kevin, they do like 5-hour fucking streams. So I'd put it on and fall asleep to it. Not because I was bored, but that continuous voice of either one of those 3 just kind of makes me nod off. So, I mean, I wrote on the Alec Baldwin roast for Dr. Ken, so I would say that one, but I don't really watch them because I want to be on them, so I don't want to watch Jeff Ross. I'd literally rather pick my eyeballs out. Oh, did he do the ones like the one with like the NFL announcer, John Facenda? Those are pretty funny. And I'm not trying to be cool and act like I don't know who he is. I've heard the name 1,000 times, but I'm not. I'm just not familiar. You know. It still blows me away. Oh, those were really good then. I mean, that was a certain amount of effort. So, hey, hit the. How do we have 25 people in here and only 11 likes? Come on, you guys. And like I said, if you're in LA this weekend, I'll be at the Comedy Store Saturday night, midnight. Please come as my guest. Um, so I'm trying to think, and so the big news in the Dabbleverse this week was the win by two fiasco with the guy dying of cancer. Do you tour any or stick to local shows? Well, I do tour because I have enough TV credits to tour, but it's got to pay really well, or I won't leave the city. I mean, it's a lot of money to fly in a plane, and it's a lot of time. It's more the time than the money. So, like, I'll give you an example of I'll break down what a comic of my fame level, which is whatever it is. Like, say to play. This is why I don't tour. Uh, the Comedy Zone in Jacksonville. That's what you would call a B club. So it's not like an improv. It's not like the Comedy Store. It's a B club that, um, you know, I played it when I was opening up for Rob Schneider. Now Rob got paid six figures, but if someone like me, I think they do one show Thursday, two shows Friday, two shows Saturday. If they're selling well, three shows Saturday. So you do 7:30, 9:30, and a late show. So you're doing five shows. So me, I'm probably going to get, because it sells out no matter who's there, because there's really nothing to do in that area of Jacksonville, especially if the Jaguars aren't playing. People just want to go out and drink. So I'm going to get paid probably about 5 grand. Now they'll pay for my airfare, put me up in the hotel in which the comedy club is in the first floor. So 5 grand. So let's say I got to drive to LAX. Now, from where I live, that can take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, but let's say an hour. Got to get to LAX 2 hours early. So I'm already 3 hours into this excursion. The flight to Jacksonville, probably about 5 hours. So that's 8 hours. I haven't told one joke. Drive from the airport to the hotel, that's probably another hour. That's 9 hours. 9 hours before one joke has been told. And then five shows. Now I do an hour when I headline, sometimes a little more, but we'll shorten it up and just say an hour. So that's 5 hours. So 14 hours. Then you got to reverse everything. Drive to the airport from the hotel Sunday. So it's, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever. The plane ride back is longer because the tailwinds aren't with you like they are when you're going there. So, that's about, 5.5 hour flight. So the half hour took you to get there, 2 hours to stay. You're looking at about, and you got to do morning radio too. Even though the shows are sold out, the club wants you to promote the show. So it's about 24 hours worth of work for that $5,000. I hope I'm not boring you with this, but so about 24 hours worth of work for 5 grand. Now that's a lot of money, no doubt about it. I did a cartoon once, full season. Now, cartoon works very easy, especially with me, because I've got such a unique voice. I'm not asked to go high or low. I'm just basically asked to read the lines in my natural speaking voice. We did one season of a cartoon for Adult Swim, and that's very rare. Usually you do one episode. It's called a pilot, and you wait for it to get picked up, and if it gets picked up, then you do the whole season. This show was, we did a pilot season. That's unheard of. I've never heard of it. I did it right here. That's my voiceover mic right here. There's my system right there. and I got paid $4,850 for the season. Now, I'm not trying to impress you by giving you the actual amount. So 24 hours to play the Jacksonville Comedy Zone from the time I leave here to the time I get back, $5,000, about 5,000. Now I might get a little more, but not less, maybe a little more. But let's just say $5,000. That full season of the cartoon took 3 hours. So that's why I don't do the road a lot. So why would I fly to Jacksonville? Now, not every voiceover gig I do is like $4,800 every week, but I'm good with my money, and like I just did a couple months ago, a Georgia State Lottery commercial where I literally right here, I was in my underwear in this chair going, "Georgia State Lottery scratchers now, void where prohibited." I had to say that line about 15 to 20 times, $1,850. So that, so I will do the road if it pays incredibly well. Most road gigs don't, unless you're playing a theater, and I'm not at the theater level. So I'm not allowed to say because it never aired. So, unfortunately, Big Stan, are you a Rob Schneider guy? But it is. How do you sign up for the Comedy Store? Oh, you just got to go there and sign up, and it's luck of the draw. We'll go about another 15 minutes, guys. Another 15 minutes. I know it's late, so I do appreciate you guys tuning in. Well, I lucked out. I was at the Comedy Store one night, and Tyler, the creator, saw me and literally said, "I want you to be the voice of the father of my cartoon." Now, it's very hard to get it like that. I mean, I really lucked out. And because it was a cartoon on Adult Swim, I then got signed to the #1 voiceover agency in the world. It was just luck for me, to be honest with you. But it was also, at that time, 15 years of comedy struggling. So my luck was made through my hard work. Yes, the copy machine guy. So how would you get into the voiceover world? You got to make a reel and you got to put it up. Like, I'll show you my voiceover reel. And no, I'm not being lazy. No, I'm not running out of things to say. But since I definitely absolutely paid my fucking dues, there ain't no doubt about that, baby doll. So let's see. All right, so this is what my voiceover reel sounds like. Let me turn the volume up. It's only like 2 minutes. It's literally exactly 2 minutes. So there we go.
Oh, meet your parents. What? Your real parents. We were just getting to know your
That's
birth
me.
parents, PD and Pam Gore. It's great you guys get to meet finally.
Barry, what the hell is that?
It's a vest over my turtleneck.
Barry, you double dipping? Double dipping ass nigga.
Whoa.
I can hear both sides, Samuel. Can't I be pro vest and pro turtleneck? Hi, honey. Just in time for a blueberry avocado smoothie. You can't take off all your clothes in front of people you don't know.
But I do know them.
That's not the point. You're not going back there ever again. Stop it. That cool guy in the yearbook, that's me. This sick Letterman jacket, it's mine. I mean, look, I'm wearing the jacket now. Don't you think this is getting out of hand?
Is that a belly button ring?
All the guys were doing it, Debbie. It's cool. Oh, speak to me, Charlie.
Barry, grab my phone and play the first song that comes up.
Hey, do you guys think OJ ever watched Dexter and thought, that's how I should have done it? I'm into conspiracy theories. Not your typical ones like 9/11. Like, do you think Jared from Subway was set up by Quiznos? There ain't no motherfucking El Weedado, you dumbass sucker. Both you fools gonna be delivering weed the rest of your lives, because you can't do fuck all else. Back to work, bitches.
Let's go, Mr. Porter.
You know I don't work for free, baby. Let's roll.
So you get the you get the picture. Now let's go back to my red screen. So you would need to make a reel like that. But whoa, I don't want to get dinged for music rights there. So that's what you would need to and then you submit that to voiceover agencies. Now, voiceover agencies, like to get in the one that I'm at, you got to be recommended. You just can't send clips into like the voiceover agency I'm at. Well, I mean, I would suggest starting out wherever you live. I unfortunately had the misfortune to start out in Los Angeles, which is where everyone comes after they've honed their craft in, I don't know, Winnipeg, Manitoba. So, you don't necessarily need to live in LA, Chicago, or New York, but, it helps. Is it harder to do? I would absolutely. I know I cannot recommend. I'm not going to recommend you to the number one voiceover agency in the world when I don't know if you can do it. You can't really teach voice acting. You either have the voice for it or you don't. Like I can't teach someone to talk like me, so I would just be ripping people off. Comedy coaches are for comics who have failed at their own careers. So no, I wouldn't do that. It is harder to get into voiceovers because fewer people do it. Like I'm frankly in the toughest category, booming, deep baritone voiceover work. So I'm going up against celebrities. Every audition I go up for, I'm going up against Rob Riggle, Dylan McDermott, Billy Brown, like people who are already established working actors. Rob Riggle, for example. So I've got to hope those. When I go up for an audition against, say, Rob Riggle, I got to hope he's doing a movie and he doesn't have the time to do the cartoon. So I have to, and then it goes to the second tier of actors like me and probably about 10 other working deep voice over actors. So it's incredibly tough. I mean, comedy, you're going up against thousands of comics. And voiceover, when you get to the level I'm at, you're going up against 5 to 10. So it's like the most subtle nuance gets you the gig or loses you the gig. I don't know. I haven't been to the beach in a very long time. Well, Rob Riggle constantly works, so it's funny. I used to know a lot of his inner circle, and they'd always, every time he got a voiceover audition, they would call me and go, Earl, get ready. Because Rob just got this audition for, this role and, I don't know, this cartoon or animated movie. And then literally 2 minutes later, I'd get the audition notice from my agency, for the same role. So, what up, Chris Hall in the house? Yes, he is a KC boy through and through. The great Rob Riggle, who was on an episode of Inappropriate Earl. So check that out if you have got some time to kill. And if you don't, I don't know what to tell you. Do you watch what you're reading for first? Well, I mean, if you're reading for something, it's probably like I read recently for 2 independent films that obviously I can't, there's no visual reference for them because they haven't been made yet. But one was for a seedy strip club owner. So I did watch the movie Showgirls because there's a part in that by the actor Robert Davi where he plays a scummy strip club owner. So I'll watch something that's similar in nature, maybe. Yes, it's called Inappropriate Earl on Apple Podcasts. And that's about it. It's only on Apple Podcasts. I like performing in Canada. No, I don't really listen to Dirt Sheets. Oh, someone asked me about 40 minutes ago what I thought of Dave Meltzer. I didn't answer the question. So if you're still here, I mean, he's just a rumor guy. He's a dirt sheet guy. So, but he obviously has a lot of connections and contacts in the business. So, um, I would say probably about half of what he says is true, and the other half is just clickbait. So, um, you know, we'll go about another 10 minutes, guys. It's 1:30 in the a.m. I'm just drinking water, actually, Path water. I've never had it. It's like an alkaline water. I've never had a drink in my life, so most people, when they see me drinking out of a bottle, they assume it's booze. But I'm straight edge, baby. Straight edge. So, Earl Skakel in the house. Thank you very much for tuning in. I know you have many viewing options. What up, Hi-Fi Protege? This is the second stream of the day, and we're about to end in about, say, 8 or so minutes. I don't do the 5-6 hour streams, man. I don't know how people do that. But here we are. So, towards the end of the stream, I just ask that you hit the like and subscribe button. I never even had a sip, never had a cigarette. I mean, I've certainly inhaled enough fucking weed. Yeah, I mean, this stream is kind of unlike most streams. I don't snipe other people. I just talk about my life and my comedy experience, like, telling you guys about the voiceover world and the ins and outs of it. Yeah, I mean, Chad loves his booze, but, I don't love my booze. So, what's your diet look like? I mean, I eat clean. I go to this place called Ready Fit Go. They have prepared meals. Um, yes, thank you, Stephen. Hit the subscribe button, please. Hey, I know you. I don't know. I don't know who you know. Well, thank you, some dude. I mean, you can look good and drink a little bit, but most people, the problem is most people don't drink a little bit. They fucking, hey, one drink makes me feel good. How about 2 drinks? Oh, I mean, probably the worst thing I do is caffeine, but, yeah. I mean, the YouTube world revolves around subscriptions. Thank you very much. So, are you part of the 18th Street Gang in New York? No, I'm. Do I look like I'm in a gang? How many 57-year-old gang bangers you know? And I don't go to New York unless I absolutely have to. So, um, I mean, really, just not. There wasn't an age in particular. I just never got into it. Um, so, I mean, my mom asked me not to drink, so I honored that request. You ever going to do Toronto? There is that weed bar or some weed club it's probably the best comedy club in Toronto. It's not a comedy club per se, but um, I'm not anti-weed or whatever, or anti-drinking really. And one of my good friends in comedy is the great Tyler Morrison. No, I've not been invited to Hackamania, and even if I was, I'd probably decline. I think, Hackamania is not, it's more of a podcast thing than a stand up thing. Because when I did the first Hackamania, I knew the second I got on stage, they do not want to hear stand up. They want to hear Dabbleverse jokes. And, I think it would be fun if they did a Dabbleverse roast. I might do that, but I'm not doing stand up again. It's just because they don't want that. Hackamania was like, it's like the comedy before roast battle, the weekly show in LA. Most comics struggle because the crowd wants to hear roast. They want to hear insults, fat jokes. This girl's a whore. This guy's a fag, whatever. They don't want to hear a well-constructed joke. And that's kind of what Hackamania is. Like Ray DeVito got a standing ovation. And I still think to this day, Ray doesn't realize, dude, they're not applauding because they like your comedy. They're applauding because, hey, the guy we all goof on online is here in person. So I would not go to the next Saudi show. I wouldn't go. No, they didn't offer me, so it's not like it's like turning down a date. I wouldn't date that playmate. She's a whore. Well, she didn't ask you out in the first place, so don't worry about it. Jeff Ross should be at Hackamania. Yeah, 100%. I mean, the festival was named after him. I mean, Jeff Ross going to Saudi made total sense. I mean, it literally was like, okay, I could understand that. Bill Burr going over there with a black wife, I don't get that at all. Pete Davidson going over there when his dad was killed on 9/11, like, wow. That's like Bret Hart going back to WWF after they fucking killed his brother. I mean, you can't need the money, man. Come on. Uh, oh yeah, that guy Tommy seems to be the new. I mean, he's the newest guy with the 15 minutes of fame. So I would love to do some. I reached out to Tony Khan, on his, and someone told me he answers the fans on Instagram. So I asked him if I could write for AEW, and he didn't get back to me. Good, do about another 5 minutes, kids. Another 5 minutes. And thank you very much for Jeffrey Lipsch. I mean, he's just not a good guy, but like I said, the guy fails upward. I mean, I've never seen anything like it in this business. I mean, he gets accused of what he was accused of. Now, if I was accused of what he was accused of, my career would be over. I mean, you might say, well, Earl, you don't have a career, but like whatever I have would be over. He gets a Super Bowl commercial. He bombs on every roast. He gets on Broadway in the city he was accused in. I mean, that's fucking wild to me. But it is what it is. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, the comedy world is fascinating. I try and stream at least once a day, and it's usually quick, like an hour stream. There's plenty of streamers. I mean, I was a guest on Pat Dixon's stream a few times, and we did like fucking 4 or 5 hours, man. I'm like, I can't do this for free, bro. So, well, it's funny though. He's usually the most unfunny one on the roast. I mean, go back and watch the Tom Brady roast. The 3 funniest people by far were Hinchcliffe, Nikki, and Andrew Schultz. So how the hell are you the fucking roast master and you're not even one of the top 3 funniest comics on the show? And if you want to watch a direct comparison between me and him, and I hate that I'm telling people to do this, but go watch Roast Battle Season 1, where I think I'm in 5 of the 6 episodes. And you go to any episode. So in other words, don't go to an episode where I did well and I know Jeff didn't. Hey, go to episode 2. Watch any episode that me and Jeff are on, and you tell me which one he was better than. He wasn't better than me and won. And he has an army full of writers. So, there you go. Am I talking about Bert? No, we're talking about Roast Battle, I guess. I mean, he's just an awful person. But let's not end the stream talking about that tub of shit. And you notice Jeff and his manager, they never say anything bad about me because they can't, because they know I'm right. But what are you going to do? Bert Kreischer's not funny at all. I mean, I'm of the belief that, you don't sell out stadiums and aren't funny. You can't fool that many people. But, I also don't tell people like you who to think is funny. So, are me and Leslie Jones cool now? I kind of wish we were, but no. I tried a few times. And at a certain point, like I saw her at the 50th anniversary party, which I think was like a year or 2 ago. And then I said, hey, Leslie, let's be cool, man. And she basically told me to fuck off. She was like, and then we almost became cool when there was an AEW show. I'm not going to mention the comic's name, but because it just doesn't matter. And I was mad at them for a while for what I'm about to tell you guys. So this person invites me to go see AEW, basically sit in the front row. Said, hey, I know it's your thing. I don't really know AEW. I'd love to go with you. No problem. It was a Sunday pay-per-view. The show started, I think, at 5, so we had made plans to meet around 3, get there early, whatnot. So this comic calls me at about 3 o'clock, say, hey, I got to do a podcast with Leslie. Can we meet you there? And I'm like, really? Now I get you got to play the game a little bit. So, okay, fine. So I go down there. They wouldn't let me in without Leslie because she's the celebrity, but we had tickets. So I'm sitting outside for like 2 fucking hours waiting for them to come. And Leslie doesn't even fucking like wrestling. So she couldn't name one wrestler on the AEW roster. So it's about 5, and my friends were in the first match, which is why I wanted to get in there early so bad. So it's about 5:15, and the comic called, hey, I'm coming down with Leslie now, wait. And I just said, fuck this, and I left, and I watched the pay-per-view at home. And now the funny thing is, if they would have gotten there on time, we would have sat together, because this comic told Leslie, hey, Earl's coming, so be cool. And Leslie said something to the effect of, that's okay. So we probably would have been friendly if we would have sat together, but because she would have seen all the wrestlers coming up to me backstage. And that's the thing, it was backstage. It's like, so no, we're not cool. So there you go. Well, I to be honest with you, I don't know why she's upset at me. I really don't. Like, I'm going to assume it was the night at Roast Battle when, back in the day, Roast Battle was really unbelievable. Dane Cook, what happened? Dane just got cocky, and my friend was the casting director on one of his last big films, and he's like, listen, you can be a dick if you're a star. And I'm like, oh, so? And he's like, well, Dane can't be a dick. So I think he got cocky, and just, his movies started bombing. And, like, listen, it's like my buddy said, you can be cocky when your movies are big. Tom Cruise can be a dick. People are going to suck up to him. But, so Roast Battle back in the day was real outlaw show. I mean, that's what kind of attracted me to the show. It was fucking wildness. So one night, Leslie goes up there, and she's not judging, but she just went up there, sat in the VIP section with about 5 or 6 of her SNL castmates. And there's a wild energy in the room. So, I think Leslie was struggling a little bit that she wasn't the focus of attention, because Roast Battle in its prime was really just about the roasters. It wasn't about the celebrities in the VIP area. It was about these 2 people on stage who probably most people in the world didn't know, shitting on each other. So with each battle, Leslie starts getting a little louder and a little louder. And at the time, I was the star of Roast Battle. Or not star, but like, Roast Battle does not make stars. But, I was the featured part of the show every week. And Leslie all of a sudden looks at me. I hadn't addressed her at all. And goes something to the effect of, tell that white motherfucker to shut up. And the room kind of went quiet, because everyone in the room was like, this is Earl's room. Like, it's Moses' show, but that was my room. And, the crowd knew I was going to say something. So I'm like, Leslie, let's be cool. Let's be cool. You are my favorite character on SNL. Now, a lot of her castmates were behind her, so they all thought I was going to suck up to her. And I paused, and the room got a little more silent, but there was a buzz in the room. Okay, we know there's a punchline coming. I'm like, you're my favorite character in SNL history. I loved you as Buckwheat. And the room blew up like Kiss came on. And then even Leslie kind of put her head down like, I don't have a comeback for that. And then my girlfriend at the time, who was my sidekick, she hits her with a fucking knockout shot and goes, no, Leslie, Earl loves you, and I love you too. I loved you on the cover of National Geographic. It was just bam, bam. Maybe the 2 best lines back-to-back in Roast Battle history of the local show. And I remember after the show, she confronts me in the kitchen, literally grabs my Versace shirt and throws me against the ice machine and goes, "Yo, man, I don't like being called Ernie Hudson." And I'm like, "Leslie, I didn't call you Ernie Hudson. Dave Taylor called you Ernie Hudson. Dave Taylor was one of the judges. I called you Buckwheat." And I think she was high and she just kind of walked off. But we literally have never talked since. And I've tried. But that was the great thing about Roast Battle back then is it was the Wild West. And like any big comic who went up there, and she's a big comic. I mean, like everyone knows who she is. But even Chappelle one night was up there judging. And here's maybe the greatest comic of all time. But Dave Chappelle knew when he walked up those stairs to the belly room into Roast Battle, he knew that he was going to get shit on by someone like me. I mean, literally, probably the most unknown comic in the world. But even Dave Chappelle knew it's a free for all up there, and we got into it. Like we were fucking ripping each other. I said, "Hey, I loved you in Amistad," and he looks at me and goes, "What do you know about slavery?" And I'm like, "Well, I was in the Holocaust, so my people realize the value of what temperature your skin boils. Your people only realize the value of hard labor." Just shit like that. Nothing like mind-blowingly funny. But my point is, Chappelle really he got it. Like, okay, this guy's, I don't know who the hell he is, but this is the show where the biggest comic in the world and myself can get shit on by that guy. And that's part of the allure of Roast Battle. And I don't think Leslie got that. I mean, we were always cool. I knew her when she lived in her car. So I would say she's someone who probably hasn't handled fame well. But, I also feel sorry for her. You imagine the racist DMs she gets? Like the grossest fucking people DMing her and I'm sure emails or whatever. So that part of me, like, I feel for her. And I think she's built up a defense mechanism where she doesn't let anyone in. Because we used to be reasonably close. But, when you have a problem with me, the problem's on you. It ain't me. So, um, oh yeah, but I mean, but that was that was why Roast Battle was so great back then. I mean, we had a rule back then, and this is before Jeff came on board, I think, where if it was two white people battling, so like say me and Brian Holtzman, that each one of us could say the N word. And I mean ER version. So that's how wacky the show was. Actually, a young fighter. I'm 57 now, and I've probably never been stronger. I do 130-pound dumbbell bench presses. I've never been able to do that. So it's weird. And I totally natural, no roids, no nothing. So, all right, you guys. This was that year, yeah, about 2014 actually, when Roast Battle was just kind of starting to get a buzz. I mean, Roast Battle was the number one show in LA for like 3 or 4 years, and to put that into perspective, in LA comedy, most shows fade in LA 6 months in. Uh, I don't really remember, to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, I really am the comedy version of Billy Gunn. I mean, at 25 years old, I could not do 130-pound dumbbell bench presses, not even close. And just the other day, I did 275 on the incline bench. I've never done 275 before. So, I mean, I feel bad for Leslie because she gets all that racist shit online, and that's not cool. I mean, there's some fucking lunatics online. I mean, I know the shit I get, and I'm a middle-aged white comic. I can only imagine that, what a black female gets. It's pretty fucking gross. So, all right, you guys. Big Black, always cool to see you. Earl Skakel. Well, I mean, I'll talk to you for a little bit, young fighter. I have a terrible body for strength. because my arms are super long. Like I'm only 6 feet, but my arms, you can see my arms aren't overly big. And so long arms are a death knell for most, definitely bench exercises. I would say most people who like set bench press records are probably like 5'7", short, squat, and have really short arms. Because, you just have less distance to cover. So I would never be able to be like a fucking bench press, power lifter. Um, well, Jake, listen, you gotta say fuck it and do it. Like, you don't think I'm nervous already about the Comedy Store on Saturday night, where I could be in front of as many as 400 people, but at the worst 200 people, and they're strangers. And the pressure to make a group of strangers laugh is, especially at the Comedy Store, which I think is the #1 club in the country. They've paid a lot of money to be there. They probably most won't know who I am. Hopefully they do after the show. But so they're like, make me laugh, monkey man. Let's see it, bitch. So, your mom didn't think I was baked last night. Hey, see what I did there, beef stick? You make fun of me, I make fun of you and your mom, and now we're friends. I'm too quick, beef stick. I'm too quick. Just take a knee. We're ending the stream now anyway. Reevaluate your trolling, and then come back tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. Thank you, some dude. Earl Skakel, over and out.